after seeing this week here, they switched the Fargo schedule, freestyle first, Greco second. I think that it's going to be good for development because kids will get to wrestle Greco now. In my opinion, it'll be a little bit better because they'll stay to wrestle Greco. They won't just show up for freestyle, which in our state's been a problem because everybody just wants to do either the folk style or maybe freestyle. But if you're around me or any of the coaches in this vehicle, we were always pressing to push two styles, freestyle and Greco. But I think this will continue the growth of our state. That being said, our oldest Fargo All-American was Camden Russell as a sophomore, and we had 10 All-Americans below that. So from 8th grade to 10th grade, you can see where the development is key. That's in our schoolboys and our novice. We have a really good group coming up underneath them for the next decade. They should be able to fuel that fire. Now, I hope that obviously goes longer than that, but the goal is development, and that's literally getting the kids out, getting them matches, getting coaches involved, getting more coaches involved, the coaches that have good high-level coaching skills that should be just maybe coming to a camp, not necessarily going to every tournament, but coming to Fargo camp or junior duels camp or getting into practice with a couple coaches that know what's going on and just spread the knowledge.
Let's talk some specifics with things you can do with youth wrestlers that are not different, but a lot of people probably don't know.
What do you mean different?
Let's say, like how to know when to have a kid start competing, and the type of training like gymnastics and things like that.
Me personally, I've been able to be a part of a board of directors that's the chairman of the Coaches Council for USA Wrestling. And I'm on the younger side of a lot of what coaching turns into a lot of philosophy as you get older. It can be art, it can be science, but it eventually turns into philosophy. It's crazy weird how it does that. But I listened to a couple coaches that have been around for a very long time, and it never occurred to me that we were ever doing it wrong, but I never thought of doing it this way. So they start their youth programs always start in Greco. It's more fun. They get to throw dummies. They get to come in and they wrestle Greco when they're first starting off in wrestling. If they're young, when they're older, it's a little different. But I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds. The first thing they do is they wrestle Greco. Now I'm a Greco guy, and I never thought they'd do that, but it really kind of upsets me that I didn't think about doing that. But I think it's an amazing idea. I think that no matter how many times we tell a kid not to grab the head, they're going to grab the head. Get them to listen or get them competing is so quick in folk style, and I think that's the primary problem with folk style. There's so many kids out there that go to a practice for a week and a half, and then they got to go to Tulsa. Oh, we're going to Tulsa. Or whatever large folk style tournament. Now, there's nothing wrong with Tulsa. The wrestlers that are there are very good. It amazes me the amount of competitions that parents and coaches and even brothers and sisters, they got to go. Me, on the other hand, I would love to see a kid practice for 2 or 3 years and never compete in that time frame, and then go compete after the fact. I think that would be phenomenal. I know that's what they do overseas. I know they don't do folk style overseas, but I do know they don't get to go wrestle. We're too game orientated here. So if you play baseball or soccer or basketball or football, the whole point of it is to go play the game. The whole point of wrestling is to get better. There is no game in our world. We wrestle to compete for the Olympics. We don't wrestle to compete for the 4-man round robin on the weekend. Right? That's not our game. That's not what we're doing. And everybody wants to go, well, why aren't we competing? Why aren't we playing games? Right? This is the way they're driven. And it drives me bananas because we're losing development. The quicker we shove a kid into competition, the faster we could lose him.
So do you think waiting those 2-3 years that helps the wrestlers learn to love the sport instead of throwing them into competition too early and they get beat on a little bit and then it's not fun?
Okay, one more time. Say that again, Rob. I'm sorry.
By letting kids practice and learn the sport and hopefully getting them to learn to love the sport for 2 or 3 years, then they're more likely to stay in it
right
after they get into competition instead of, like you said, practice for a week and a half and then go out there and maybe they get dropped on their back pretty hard.
Agreed. It's a scary thing going to a tournament when you're 6 years old. I can't remember personally, but I help coach a lot of 6-year-olds, and they're terrified when they go out there. Parents are screaming, whistles are blowing, coaches are yelling, and it's craziness, and it's all on them. It's literally on them when they walk out there. They're playing football, soccer, baseball. It's wide open field. It's outside. You know what? If you don't want to pay attention, you just run to the other side of the field. I'm not listening to coach. They don't have that opportunity in wrestling, right? It's just not something that they can do. It's got to be terrifying. I got a nephew that wrestles, and I don't mind that he doesn't go to tournaments, to be honest with you. I'm glad he doesn't go if we don't take him. But I do get upset when he's not in the practice room. I always want the little ones in the wrestling room practicing. They can get on a dummy, they can learn how to do, good push-ups, they can do pull-ups, all those things that are so important in development that you'll never get in a game. You just never will. It just won't, it can't happen. But you can take your time, grow a kid, just like plant a seed and growing the flower. If they blossom when it's time, they're going to love their sport. They're going to love what they're doing. And that's the thing we've got to do as coaches. I think in Nebraska, we struggle with just, hey, Mom, Dad, we're not going to tournaments this weekend. We're going to stay home. Like, I was super stoked when Kids Nationals went over to Atlanta. I got to tell my parents, hey, guess what? We could have a 3-month summer. It's going to be awesome. I've been to 2 pool parties. I'm super stoked with the kids. Otherwise, we'd be at a wrestling tournament. I'm so happy we're at a pool party. I mean that. It's just awesome. But the more we can slow the competition down, the better our wrestling will